Hey everyone, Big Mac here. How's it going? Welcome to part 3 of Yoshi's story. Today we're going to be going to stage 3-4, Frustration. How frustrating is this stage going to be? Well, let's find out. So this is actually more of an ice level stage. As you guys can see from here, there are a couple of mechanics in this particular stage that we'll be talking about. One is this wheel thingy that basically Yoshi has to use its own body weight to try and propel forward. So, kind of like a hamster wheel. It's like if you're, further to the right, that way you can actually propel forward, or at least, start spinning the wheel, at least. And in this case, we're actually propelling ourselves a little bit forward, in this case as well. So, of course, we could fall out of the sides, we could get in trouble with all these little bird things that are flying around that could hurt us. Fortunately, we found ourselves a happy heart already. That's pretty cool. We can tackle these enemies in a couple different ways. One is we can eat them and turn them into eggs. And there I accidentally ate an apple in the process. My bad. But anyway, so yeah, there are multiple ways of trying dealing with these enemies, and we can just, if you need to, you can just avoid them as well. Here I was just trying to emphasize that my lucky fruit is currently bananas. And of course, since it's a pink Yoshi, that Yoshi's favorite fruit is apples. So a couple things that we're going to have to try and pay attention to. One is Lakitu here. If you don't do anything right away, he will actually start throwing spike balls at you, which will go up and down these movable pendulums, or not pendulums, it's these levers that are pivoted in their middles. So of course what we can do is defeat Lakitu and then ride on his cloud. This is a common thing that's been seen in other Mario games as well. Fortunately, along all of these different lever things, there we go, seesaw type things, there are a number of fruits that we can collect, but in terms of melons, not that many. Here I just mentioned that there will be a group of Shy Guys. If you can take all 4 of these Shy Guys down in one shot, you can get a free melon. You have to get all 4 in one shot. If you miss it entirely the first time, that's okay. Go back to the left a little bit and then come back, and hopefully they should all return in that situation. What we're doing here is we're actually doing a race for melons. So here we are reintroduced to that wheel mechanic that we just saw a little bit earlier. So now the deal is, if we can navigate through this section fast enough, we can actually get rewarded 7 melons. Unfortunately, timer, as indicated by that little chain chomp, is running out in our situation. Run, Yoshi! Whew, just barely. Had I waited a little bit, had it taken a little bit longer, I would not have gotten the full 7 melons. It would have gone down to 6, and then 5, etc. However, for our efforts, we got a heart. Yay! Admittedly, this stage is not very long. So as you guys can see, we've already gotten like 15 melons almost. Whoa! There are these new enemies which kind of look like Pokies, but they crawl along the ground. So I don't know what they're called. Let's call them Croakies, just because. Anyway, it's interesting to observe that they go in this clockwise or counterclockwise pattern. And in fact, if you follow along them for one loop, a melon will appear on the bottom screen, as well as there's already a melon right here. So another new enemy to introduce are the Bumpties. These are the little blue penguin guys. So, like their name implies, they would bump you, they won't hurt you, and we just lost the melon. Oh boy. Well, that makes up for the apple that we accidentally ate earlier, I suppose. And there was actually the second happy heart for us to collect in this stage. But getting back to the bumpies, yeah, they do not hurt you, but if you run into them, they'll just naturally bump you back and forth. So they can be quite annoying, for sure. You can eat them, actually, and you will get an egg out of it as well. So you may want to use that to your advantage, especially out here where there aren't a lot of egg refills. Of course, right, you may want to try and grab that little happy heart as well, because you can be invincible, and then you don't have to worry about the croakies. Of course, there's plenty of other room around here. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Again, fortunately, since I was able to just go through it, I was able to launch that other projectile to activate the third happy heart. I hope you guys were able to see the very bottom of it. Unfortunately, I hit it up way too high and was unable to show the entire thing. It looked like there was something here. Oh, there's a melon. Awesome. And of course, peppers, avoid the peppers it's just general advice to avoid it because you'll actually lose health because they're too spicy. So you don't want to eat those. And here we have one last race that we need to complete before we actually start coming around, or going back around the level. So this one looks pretty straightforward until you realize that there's a Croaky here, a crawling Pokey, and he's going to be blocking our path, and Yoshi can't really jump over him too well, so you have to try and time it so that he is on the bottom, and then try and rush your pieces over. Rush, rush, rush! Oh, barely, just barely. Nicely done, Yoshi. So, of course, for getting all of these melons in a row, we'll actually get a little happy heart here right now. And, in fact, eating this will reveal, in just a second, our next letter. So, notice that there's an apostrophe and an S. So, if you're trying to keep track of all these letters, that's the letter for stage 3-4. And then, lastly, we're one melon short, but here's Poochie. Does Poochie have something for us? Yes, we do. In fact, it is a melon. However, we have now collected our 30 fruits, but the stage isn't over yet. Welcome to the boss stage, where actually after every third stage, regardless of which way you take, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, or 3-4, you'll encounter a mini-boss here. Here we have Don Bongo. Try to dodge my bouncing blubber. Just don't hit my rubber lips of rubber. So you can hit it if you have enough eggs. You can actually take him out really quickly, just 1, 2, 3 from that ledge. Just shoot forward and attack his lips. If you don't have enough eggs, you can eat the debris that's falling around, and then once he turns around, you can actually just start hitting him again. And indeed, 3 simple hits, and Don Bongo is defeated. I don't know why his lips were his weak spot, but it just so happened to be that way. However, that concludes stage 3-4. So fortunately, that stage called Frustration wasn't too frustrating, which is good for us. And there's our scoreboard for purpose's sake, and again, you may have come from different paths, so I wouldn't worry too much about this particular cumulative scoreboard, adding everything back up. So let's read today's page. The high mountain air was freezing cold. How much could they take? It was scary so high up, they carefully crossed the canyons and cliffs. Then they met Don Bongo. He was stomping mad, but the Yoshis put him on ice. The page turned, and the Yoshis grew happier. And of course, after level 3, we have, surprise, level 4. So, welcome to World 4, the jungle. Go ahead and pick your next stage. Otherwise, I will see you in the very next episode. So this is Big Max saying, later.